to the Fayetteville 411 podcast produced by the City of Fayetteville, where you'll get information about city government and the programs and services we provide. You'll also get topics of interest and an inside look into the various departments that help keep our city moving. I'm Sherry Kropp.
And I'm John Salling. Thanks for joining us for the Fayetteville 411. Now, I've been kind of new to town and hearing a lot about this FayFixIt app and a lot of the wonderful services that it provides as a source for the people of Fayetteville. And I've been kind of curious about the fabulous folks running that service. And we're here today with Teresa Wanambwa, the call center manager for the city of Fayetteville. Teresa, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you guys for having me. This is super exciting.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, delightful. And what is the purpose of the call center?
Well, our purpose for the call center is to service our residents for the city of Fayetteville. Now, with that being said, we actually feel like we service a lot more than that. So when people actually call in and they have questions or concerns about pretty much anything, we try to actually get their questions answered. Any type of resolution that we need to provide, we do that. We may not actually handle what they're calling for in office, but it's our responsibility to actually provide the resident with the information that they need if it's pertaining to another department or if they need to speak with someone directly. So our main purpose for the call center is to actually take care of all of our residents and make sure, that we have the same common goal, that we just want to provide a great customer service experience for anyone that's actually in the Fayetteville area.
And you know what I think is great about it, is that somebody actually answers the phone and directs you, because now you call so many companies or organizations and you don't even get to speak with somebody. It's press 1 or 2 and then you go through this long menu, but you guys actually answer the phone.
We definitely do, Sherry, and that's great that you mentioned that, because a lot of times our residents would say that. Especially with some of our senior citizens, they want to speak to a live person. So we make it a point. Like I said, we don't have you holding for a long time. If we're not able to provide you with the information that you need at that time, we'll definitely set up a callback, and a live person will actually call you back and provide you with what you need.
Definitely.
And that is invaluable, really. Yes. And so what are some of the calls that you get from our residents?
Let's see, our top calls, believe it or not, is for our solid waste department. So we may have residents, just to give you kind of a look at what our world looks like during the day. We may have a resident that calls in that maybe they're new to the area. I know you were saying, John, that you're new to the area. So sometimes if they're not sure, if they're within the city limits for the public services that we offer, we get those calls. So we're able to provide them with what they need. And that's from pretty much start to finish, as far as what I like to call a welcome packet to the city from the call center. And, what that may entail is we would assist you with getting everything you needed ordered, as far as your trash cans, anything pertaining to that service, and providing you with some information just pretty much about the city, of how that actually works and what that'll look like to you. So at the top of the list is probably our solid waste department that we'll get a lot of calls for.
What are some of the other calls that you receive?
We receive calls for things such as code enforcement. And like I said, when we get those calls, we provide some information. Sometimes it's general information, but we try to provide the resident with next steps. This is what's going to happen. This is what that will look like. So they're not on what we like to call like a wheel, just a circle going round and round. So we try to make sure that they are provided with the information that they need. And again, the end resolution is that we provide them with something that, when they call us, the issue's going to get actually resolved.
And I have to say this is some information that I just recently found out that kind of blew my mind, is some of the phone calls that you get there in the call center, and that's at 4331-FAY, we refer to it as 433-1329.
Yes.
But some of the calls that you get at the call center have nothing to do with the city of Fayetteville. Sometimes people call you to get information about county services or even state services.
That is absolutely true. And we, myself and my team, and, I have 4 direct reports that actually work in the call center along with myself. And when those calls come in, and they do come in, we try to provide the resident with what they're actually asking. Again, these may be new residents. It may be someone calling from another state. We get those calls. And what we do, we're very quick. The internet is our friend. Anything we need is right at our fingertips. So we actually assist them with whatever they're calling about. Sometimes we get calls for PWC. The perception is that we're tied to PWC, like the city and PWC are the same. They're a separate company, but we do, have different things in the city that we do with them. We get those calls, but we assist those residents, and we've actually become very knowledgeable about PWC services, more so than we just would be as a regular resident. So we put them in contact pretty much with who they need to be in contact with. And that, sometimes we actually hear, oh, wow, that's great. I called the wrong people, but I still was provided with the information that I needed. So very grateful and very thankful for that. And like I said, we just want a pleasant experience, for the residents. Regardless, we're still customer service based.
Okay. And how many calls do you get in a month, say? How many people are you guys helping there?
Oh, wow. Probably about 4,000. 4,000 a month, a little over 4,000. Again, I have 4 direct reports that are actually taking all these calls from our residents.
That's a lot of phone calls.
It is.
and your hours are 8 to 5.
That
is
is
right?
correct. It's Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m.
And is there anything that residents should know before calling One Fay?
I think that our residents need to know that it's going to be a pleasant experience. We're here to actually help them and to assist them and to get their issues resolved. Sometimes that may take a little bit longer depending on what the issue that the resident's calling in about. But there's nothing, if you feel like you don't know something about the city or outside of the city, or you just have a question, that's what we're there for. And like I said, if we're not able to assist you, we will definitely put you into the right place where you can get your assistance.
Are there other ways that residents can make a service request or report issues?
Oh, definitely. I'm so glad you asked that, Sherry. As I'm out in the community sometimes and just talking to the public, there sometimes comes up, well, I don't want to call in. I may have to hold. Now, these aren't experiences necessarily with the city that they're holding, but just in general in calling a company. So some of the ways that you can actually reach us, it's www.FayFixIt.com. You can also, if you have Android, if you have an Apple iPhone, there's an app that you can actually download to your phone, and you can reach us that way. It's a really simple, user-friendly process. You would just go on, put your information in, and the system is pretty much geared toward what the question is that you're putting in or the issue, and it would route that particular ticket to where it needs to go. And you would be provided with an actual ticket number that you can track that. If you run into any issues with that process, again, we're using the computer. That's a website. It directly sends it to the department. But again, if there's any issues around that, you can definitely call the call center and we'll definitely provide you with status on that.
And that app is the FayFixIt app.
That
correct?
is absolutely correct.
And I know, John, you said you were curious to learn some information about that.
Yeah, definitely. And so what can it be used for, the app there?
The app can be used for anything. And what I love about it, John, we're here Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. But the app is 7x24, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Now, what that does, maybe you work all day, you're off, you work late shift. Well, hey, jump on your phone, jump on FayFixIt.com, and you can actually create that request. And what it'll do, like I said, it'll provide you with a ticket number. You've actually sent that information over to us. You didn't have to wait on the phone. And like I said, so any issues that you can pretty much think of that you may need for city services, you can actually go on there and it'll actually have those for you. So pretty much anything that is related to the city, then like I said, you're able to actually go on and create a case for.
I know I've used it before to report down signs, a street sign,
Yes.
and graffiti. If there's graffiti, you can report that, and potholes and things like that.
That is absolutely correct. And like you said, what that does, Sherry, my team actually manages that part of it as well. And on the other side of that, I run the call center, but I also am the administrator for the FayFixIt. So I actually maintain that as well.
Oh, very cool. And where can people get the app?
You can actually go on, and if you have the Android, I believe it's under the App Store. You go to the Google Store.
Yes,
I'm sorry,
yes,
Google Play Store. And then the iPhone, you would actually go into your apps and actually be able to download that to your phone. And like I said, pretty simple device. Again, if there's any issues with that, and you need some assistance in walking through that process, give us a call at the call center, and we'll be more than happy to walk you through that process as well.
All right. And is it better to use the app than to call the call center?
I wouldn't say it's better. Either way, it's actually the preference of our residents. So whatever you're comfortable with, feel free, like I said, to use either one. It's just another way that our residents can actually reach us and get their issues reported.
Okay. And recently the city launched Ask Fay as another way for customers to get information about city services. Teresa, what is it and how does that work?
Oh my gosh, this is an absolute amazing, it's a chat box, and it's a virtual chat box. So it's actually located on our website. So if you go to the Fayetteville NC website, you can actually see that. It's down in the right-hand corner, and you would actually click on that. And what happens, sometimes, maybe it's a question just about virtual records. Like I said, again, we handle everything. So general inquiries, whatever you're actually placing into that and asking the question, the virtual assistant is looking for specific words so it can actually respond to you. Again, you don't have to wait. You don't have to call. Maybe it's something quick, just a quick question. And also, like I said, if you want to report, like Sherry was saying earlier, a pothole, if you place that information in, what that chat does, it actually, again, we manage this piece as well. It comes to the call center, and we would actually go in and create a service request for you. And all that information is actually relayed back to the residents via their email address. And there's a form that they would fill out. Very user-friendly, very short. But again, another way that our residents can actually reach us, so we can actually assist them with getting their issues resolved.
And that's fantastic.
Yes.
So they can either call 4331-FAY or 433-1329.
Yes.
They can download the FayFixIt app, or they can go to the FayettevilleNC.gov on the webpage and ask Fay.
That's it. And like I said, they have so many ways that they can actually reach us because, like I said, at the end of the day, our goal is to make sure that our residents are serviced in our city. And, we all have the same common goal as internal and external, as keeping our city looking great, safe. So anything we can do to help that process along, we'd like to do that.
Awesome. Well, thank you and your team for everything that you do. I know you work really hard, and we appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much. And thank you again for having us. And again, feel free to give us a call. This is internal and external residents. We're here to assist you with your needs.
Thank you so much, Teresa. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Fayetteville 411. The Fayetteville 411 is one of several podcasts that the city produces for our podcast channel, Radio Fayetteville. Be sure to subscribe to Radio Fayetteville, available on your favorite podcast streaming platforms.
You can also listen to every podcast that Radio Fayetteville has to offer by downloading the Fay TV streaming app, available now on Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and Amazon Fire TV. You can view all of our video content by visiting faytv.net. To get information about city services, go to our webpage at fayettevillenc.gov. Thanks for joining us.